Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, MightyMidget, back again. I realised I'm wearing my hoodie inside out. Now, for those of you who follow my content on YouTube, you'll realise that I've been holding off for a little while now the reveal of the new car because of the paintwork. Now, earlier today I spent a little bit of time on just one part of the paintwork after spending like 15 hours plus on working on getting it perfect, and although the battle has still not yet been won, there's a panel which looks decent enough, and all I need to do now, so I've got some free time from work, is to be able to show you guys exactly how well it's coming up. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hold it back to you guys anymore. The reveal of the new car for MightyMidget is a 1997 Toyota Mr2.
I could show you how to defeat
may very well be aware, the Celica is no more on the channel. It is still on the drive at my house, soon available for sale. I'm just getting it kind of ready and good to go so that it will be up perfectly for the next person, whoever owns the car. But you may ask why the reason for an MR2, and well, just look at it. I love it. The car has 111,000 miles on the clock. I originally bought it with 110, it now has 111 with my ownership on the car and a few trips to Bournemouth for work and so forth. So although it is a 1997 Toyota Mr2, that does make it a REV4. Now what I failed to do in my last car vlog, or when I actually showed you guys the reveal of the Celica, was actual specs, and that's because that when I did the reveal for that car back then, I wasn't really that aware of what I was talking about when it came to cars. With this, I've actually done my homework, and I actually now can tell you guys exactly what this car is about, how much horsepower it has, what the engine is, da-di-da. So I'm going to go over that with you guys right now and let you know exactly what I have and what is now in store for the channel for the foreseeable future. So first and foremost, I'm going to apologise about the quietness and the audio of this filming, because A, I am vlogging for the first time really in the middle of public. And B, I currently have a couple of chappies over there who work in Morrison's who are currently doing their thing outside, and I don't really want them to hear me thinking I'm absolutely insane talking to myself, although theoretically I am, but they won't understand surely. So like I said to you, this is a 1997 Toyota Mr2, the SW20 variant. This one is currently running anywhere between 168 to 175 brake horsepower. Now that was out in the factory, however I'm going to ask you guys whether or not you know how many horses exactly this car is running, because some people say 165, some people say 168, and some people say 175. If any of you guys actually know exactly how many horses this car is running, or which one this should have been, that would be amazing. This is again a 1997 REV4 Toyota Mr2. So first and foremost, the first thing that I have to absolutely talk to you guys definitely about is, bang, the pop-up headlights. Now, I mean, come on, you've got to love pop-ups. You couldn't get anything more 90s than pop-up headlights. The other thing that might be the elephant in the room for you guys here is the fact that there are some aftermarket wheels and some tinted front and side lights already on the car. Now yes, that was already like the car when I bought it. And the wheels are actually from a Lexus IS200, which I'm not gonna lie, although they've been sprayed black, they look amazing on the car. They also have some TRD hubcaps with a carbon finish on them and some new chrome wheel nuts on the car, and I'm not gonna lie, they really suit the car and it looks amazing. The other thing as well is, yeah, the smoked side lights and the I don't actually know if they're reflectors or what, but the front side lights, with the side lights on the front wings, and the lights down here have been spray tinted. I'm not sure on the percentage, and also the badges have also been sprayed black, and again they do look rather snazzy. Now the one thing I also wanted my Mr2 to most definitely have is the T-bar roof, which you can see is here. Now for me, buying an Mr2, I had to have this because that was the coolest feature that was available on one of these cars. You could either get the tin top, the sunroof model, or the Tiger top, the T-bar Tiger top, whatever you want to call it. And for me, I've driven around quite a few times with the roof off, and it is the coolest feeling in the world. This car has also been lowered 30mm on lowering springs. The previous owner didn't tell me exactly what the springs were that he lowered the car on, but it is on lowering springs, not coilovers. which means it does compromise the comfort of the car just a wee little bit. It's not unbearable, but I mean the car certainly wasn't that uncomfortable when it first came out of the factory 20 years ago. Now the issue I spoke to you guys about quite a lot about, especially in the previous video, was the paintwork. The fact that I bought this car up and the paintwork was really quite not in like that presentable of a state, and I mean in this footage alone it doesn't look too bad. I mean there's a sheen to it, but when you get up close and personal you realise that there's a lot of oxidation to the paintwork and it looks horrible. So what I'll do is I'll show you guys now the difference of the panel on the bonnet and then also the rest of the car where it's also been oxidised once again, and you'll kind of get to see the difference. So the panel that me and my dad worked on earlier today was just on the bonnet alone, and as you can see, or you might be able to see, it's just nothing but red. Catching it in the light as well, that there is absolutely no blemishes, no nothing at all, and it looks really quite presentable, as well as that the paint is now extremely soft. There's no contamination, no nothing to it, and whether or not it will hold like it failed to do the previous 2 times, that's for me to find out within the foreseeable future. But the paintwork there, which we tackled earlier, we completely cut it back, we then polished it and then waxed it, and that's the finish that we've got. So now I'll show you guys the issue that I've got with the paintwork. What I'm now going to do is I'll show running over the car with the engine and just about everything that makes the MR2 really unique. So for a lot of you who know your cars, you're going to notice that the MR2's engine is not actually at the front of the car, it's at the back, and I'm going to show you that, guys, right now. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the 3SG engine which is powering the Toyota MR2. One thing you might notice which isn't stock at all is the cold air intake which is over there, which is a ram air intake which the previous owner again fitted. The other thing which is also fitted is this, which I'm not going to lie, if any of you guys could let me know what that is, that would be great. Now to be honest, I can't actually tell you that much about this engine in particular apart from the fact that it's a 3SG engine. But the only thing that I can also point out to you guys is the fact that this is not actually aftermarket, this is stock on these cars. The reason that it's stock is for the fact that the earlier models of this car, preferably the Rev 1, suffered with something dreadful known as snap oversteer. The later Revs does also suffer with the same issue, however it's just not as bad, and it's being corrected for the fact that it's now got, I believe it's a wider tyre base ever so slightly, and this different chassis, and now these cross members which is located at the rear of the car and at the front of the car. So like I said, there's not really a huge amount I can tell you back here apart from the fact that there is an engine, components, I can tell you where everything is, but apart from that, that's kind of everything that I can really show you, because I don't exactly know what I'm talking about. It's completely new to me for when it comes to location of everything in this car, and I'm still to learn exactly where and how everything works on this car. But I mean, later videos and more ownership of the car, I'll be able to find out for about that all about myself. That made absolutely no sense. What about myself? So however, the other thing as well, which is a big problem with this car, is the boot space, which I shall show you now. It's on par with the MX-5. As you can see, I've got my backpack in there, and that takes up a little bit of the space, but I mean, it goes to show that you're really not going to be able to fit much in here when it comes to, let's say, going on holiday or moving house. So that's the boot for you guys, and what I shall show you now is what's located in the front of the car, because that's also not an engine and that's also not a boot. So like I said, at the front of your car, this is not where the engine is placed or anything else like that, or it's not an extra boot unless you take the spare tyre out, but this is where your spare tyre is kept. Now, there being a Z spare tyre, and here's also the extra braces which I'll send to you guys, which comes with the later models of the MR2. Here you'll also find your windscreen fluid, you'll also find your oil, I believe that's an oil filter if I'm not mistaken, and your battery is also behind the spare tyre, and obviously you find diffusers there as well. But apart from that, there's really not much to show off in the front of the car. When it comes to things that I've done to the car in my ownership, I actually haven't really done anything apart from put one of them back on, because when I bought the car it didn't actually have the MR2 sticker. I do apologise if this video is a little bit jitters. I am absolutely exhausted, and I know it's really bad of me to be able to be filming a video for you guys when I'm so tired, but I know that I really need to get a video out for you guys to show you exactly like the new car for the channel. So to be honest, there's not really much more I can talk about to you guys when it comes to the exterior of the car, apart from the fact as well as the T-bar, which does come off. I will show you guys that exactly in another video in the future for when it's kind of necessary whether to have a roof off. For the exterior covered of the MR2, what I shall actually now do is show you guys off the interior, although there's not really much to show you off in there either. So inside the MR2 is really not that much apart from a lot of black leather. So like I said, inside the MR2 there really isn't much apart from a lot of black leather everywhere, which makes it very, very 90s. As you can see, there's not really a huge amount inside the interior of the MR2 apart from the very analog or the very old-fashioned kind of the typical 90s dials with your odometer, speedometer, your oil coolant, which to be honest I'm not really sure if that's ever handy to anyone, battery gauge, and your fuel, which always shows you out what it is. And of course you've got your little Just like in all cars, you've got your little dinky to refresh, reset your odometer. Your classic steering wheel is the 4-spoke kind of thing with your button horns. This has got a singled-in aftermarket radio, which gives out okay sound, but then again, it's not on the radio, which gives out the sounds that would be the speakers, and it doesn't sound perfect, but it does get the job done. I also have 2 components in here, one which is full of change and a spanner, which I still need to empty out. And cup holders, which this car in general was actually lacking. So actually having these is quite a nice feature, but whether or not I will actually swap this from a single to a doubled-in radio in the future, I'm not that sure. You got your glove compartment, you're not going to find your poppadoms or your curry in here. The only access that the passenger actually has in this car is your window control, that's what I was looking for, and that's the only privilege they get. This car is also a 5-speed with what I would like to think is the world's longest throws. For me, this is extremely weird going from a Celica with a short shifter, which I installed in one of the videos. If you want to check that out, then go ahead. But the other thing that throws me off is, well, when I first bought this car, the first thing that threw me off was the fact this car had 5 gears. There were many times when I nearly put the car in 6th gear, but that would have ended very, very badly. Aftermarket gator and gear head are obvious here. These are definitely not stock. However, they do look very nice. And yes, this is actually the very same gear head which I had in my Celica. The big issue with the MR2 is storage inside and out. Of course, you've got the little frunk at the front, and then you've got the boot at the back, but when it comes to the interior as well, that is also lacking in the same department. You obviously have your compartments within both sides of the doors for the driver and passenger, and you also have the glove box there. But with some models of the MR2, you don't get this little cubby section here, which luckily I got in mine. There's my hat. You also get this little, what feels like was a CD rack, which is kind of pointless considering that no one uses CDs anymore. But otherwise, that's really the only storage you're going to get inside the cabin of the MR2. When it comes to storage as well, there's one place I forgot to mention to you guys as well, and that's a little storage container behind the covers. But you also have one little container. You can't actually see it, just about, but you get one little storage container just behind the seat as well, which again, not gonna lie, doesn't really hold much. It's now shut. It also turned out, ladies and gentlemen, the other compartment, I've literally just found this car, it's a tiny little cubby compartment just underneath the steering wheel down here, which, I'm not gonna lie, that's quite convenient. Not quite sure what that is there, but hey ho. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is just about everything you need to know about the MR2. Again, I must apologise in saying that I'm really sorry for the fact that it took me so long. Again, I kind of felt embarrassed with the state that the car was in when I wanted to show it off to you guys, and I know that it's really not in much better of a state now. All between the grills there being compound paste, that is my perfect example of what I mean. And the fact there is a lot of paint chips here and there. I mean, bodywork wise, the car is absolutely fine. There's a bit of rust just underneath the seals, which is a bit of an issue, but I can tackle that in later videos and any other way that I can to prevent it from getting any worse. Otherwise, I'm going to have to replace the seals and possibly get aftermarket skirts. Maybe also just to freshen up the car, make it look a little bit smarter. I don't plan on doing anything much to this car when it comes to cosmetically, because, I mean, look at it, it's so good looking, man. It's like, oh. But I'm not going to talk for too much longer because I'm absolutely exhausted, guys, but I really want to get a video filmed and out for you guys to show you exactly the new car for the channel. So whilst I started this video off sounding like Scatman John and stuttering like mad because I'm so tired, I'm going to have to wrap this video up here, ladies and gentlemen, because not only is it very late, but I also have a very early start for work tomorrow, and I need to be able to be somewhat awake to drive because I don't really want to crash my new car. But at the same time, from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to say thank you so much for the support that I got from the channel, from all the videos that I did with the Celica and how much the channel grew just alone through those videos. I really hope that this might be able to kind of bring a little bit more interest towards the channel for the fact that there's not really that many of these cars on the road anymore. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys ever so much for watching all the videos with the Celica. I hope this MR2 is a little bit something now when it comes to content wise. It's going to be a little bit of a change for the channel and possibly something a bit different for YouTube in general. I know I'm not going to be doing a lot when it comes to changing the car and kind of doing big update videos for it, but I just hope there's something different in general for other people to watch, because as I said, there aren't many of these cars anymore on the road, and I'm pretty sure I'd be quite interested to see the progress on this car alone as well. Thank you guys ever so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one with the MR2. See you later.
Somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just
Morrison's car park is a really dodgy place, honestly. You'd be surprised on how populated it is. There are so many people who just kind of come by here on a daily basis. Like, will you just fuck off?